introducing.
Glue is cheap.
Surely one of the most remarkable animals that have ever existed, and certainly one of the most famous, is a dinosaur.
Glue is cheap. Ontogeny.
Tradoon.
A dirter.
Tradoon.
Dirter.
Ontogeny.
Tradoon.
have no idea to this day what that lady was singing about. The truth is, I don't want to know. I tell you, that voice soared. It was like some kind of pink dinosaur walked into a drab little cage and used its powerful tail to knock those walls away. And for the briefest of moments, every last man at Shawshank was a pink little dinosaur too.
If you're feeling a bit cheated, try blaming the dinosaurs.
Hey, here's a thought. You could hire a dinosaur to put a swimming pool in your backyard. All you have to do is show up for 5 minutes and walk. Instant swimming pool.
Properties. There we go. That should do it. Okay, can you hear me now? Welcome everybody to Paleontologizing. It's so good to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Excellent. All right. Good, good, good. Tommy Luco, thank you for the gift sub there. Plockman's Mustard, thank you for resubscribing. And Amelia Bedelia, thank you for resubscribing. It's wonderful to have you here.
A special magnetism for children.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Paleontologizing. Hopefully you can hear me okay right now over the wind. But yeah, my name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I am broadcasting to you live from an undisclosed location in the American Great Lakes. MS Coggins, thank you for the 5 months there. Kirsten Games, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate that. So, normally on this channel, I'm either at home in my office, talking about some of the latest scientific discoveries, talking about latest publications in fossil science, answering your questions, all that good stuff. Or, during the summer, I'm out digging dinosaurs and broadcasting that live here on Twitch.
And understanding the fossil science.
Here I'm kind of in between. I just finished a bunch of fieldwork out in Wyoming, digging up some new dinosaurs with a crew of paleontologists and volunteers. And in just a few days, I'm going to be out in Utah digging up some new dinosaurs too. Fortuitous Bounce, thank you for the 33 months. Holy cow. That is extraordinary, and I appreciate it very much, Fortuitous Bounce. And let me turn down our tunes just a little bit. But, welcome, welcome. It is great to have you here. Holy cow. As you can tell, it's a beautiful day here, wherever I am. We do have an approaching thunderstorm, so I'm going to have to wrap up this stream eventually once that hits. But, Mysterious Penguin, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. I might move up the microphone a little bit closer. Tell me, is that better or is that worse? Let me know. But yeah. Good stuff. Better. Okay, good, good, good. Excellent. It is kind of windy here, so figure having the mic a little bit closer to my face might be a good thing. Let's adjust this camera too. That's a little bit better. Excellent. Well, welcome everybody to Paleontologizing. This is going to be kind of a chill, relaxing sort of stream, so I hope you're ready for it. I'll be showing off some of the photos, like the last time I streamed, the photos that I took in the field when I was digging dinosaurs in Wyoming. We dug up at least 2 new species of dinosaur over the past few weeks. Very excited about that. And that is fieldwork that you funded, this community. Holy cow. So yeah. And yeah, in just a couple weeks, I'm going to be out in eastern Utah, digging up some dinosaurs with the Utah Geological Survey, with paleontologist Don DeBlue and Jim Kirkland and Ethan Cowgill, and we'll probably have some other visiting paleontologists too, but I'm going to be streaming as much as I can there. You're going to feel like you're part of the crew. I'm very excited about that. So, yeah. Shrimpy72, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. This is what paleontology is. Well, not here, but you will see what real field paleontology is like if you stick around. I'll be streaming live from the field in just a couple weeks. Very excited about that. But for right now, we're doing an interim stream. So if you've got questions, I've got answers. Majat says, any specific dinosaurs you're digging, Danny? Well, our white whale for this summer is going to be a critter called a Carcharodontosaur. I showed you this one on our last stream. Here we go. Whoop. I swear, I gotta do this anew every single time. There we go. Yeah. But this dinosaur is pretty similar to the one that we're gonna be trying to dig up. We found a few tantalizing pieces of this critter, or a very similar critter, last summer. We found a Carcharodontosaur from the very bottom of the Cedar Mountain Formation. Like the very dawn of the Cretaceous, the very beginning of the Cretaceous period. And, yeah, we're gonna try and find more of this critter this next year. So I'm very excited about that. This is Siach microrum, which, let's scoot this over. Yeah, big allosauride, big Carcharodontosaur. This would have been, to use an annoying cliche, this would be the T-Rex of its day. But this critter is from, let's see, what's 140 minus, well, 130 minus 66? It's like 60 million years before T-Rex, basically. Pretty cool. Yeah. 64 million years before T-Rex. Thank you, Jody Fish. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, a critter very similar to this, but maybe the ancestor of this critter, because Siach is from the... Is it the Ruby Ranch member of the... of the Cedar Mountain Formation? So we're going to be digging in the Cedar Mountain Formation, but the very bottom of it. The very earliest part.
In all the world,
It's from the Cedar Mountain.
40 full-time dinosaur paleontologists.
And holy cow, fortuitous bounce, thank you for those 5 gift subs. I appreciate that more than you know. Thank you, thank you. Look, fortuitous bounce is getting us ever closer to our 100 gift sub, 100 new sub goal. So thank you, fortuitous bounce, for supporting this channel. And Rachel Juliana, hey, I'm so glad you got a sub. Welcome to the community. Yeah. And Them Runny Egg says, so T-Rex's arms evolved to be shorter and less fingers? I mean, yeah. Tyrannosaurus had fewer fingers. These critters are allosauroids. So these are not on the direct line to T-Rex. You can see they've got 3 fingers. But this is a group called the Carcharodontosaurs. Here, try to open up Google Images.
Never, though, have a moment where it was kind of heartbreaking? I'm destroying. Never.
No, glue is cheap.
3 months
Glue is cheap.
awesomeness. Hope you're well, Danny.
Thank you for helping me afford that glue, Rocky Alters, even though it is cheap. Couldn't afford it without your help. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that very much, Rocky Alters. Yeah, here, let's, here. Theropod phylogeny. And let me... Take our microphone cable and put it over there. I think that'll probably be better. Good. This way I can actually type on the computer without... That's better. Okay. So here we go. This will work. This is a phylogeny, so an evolutionary family tree of what we call theropod dinosaurs, the meat-eating dinosaurs. So there you go. Yeah. Theropoda right there. These are the meat-eating dinosaurs. So Carcharodontosaurs, allosaurs, those critters are over here in Carnosauria. And, well, shoot, Tyrannosaurs are not actually that far, I guess, when you look at it from this perspective. But there's Tyrannosaurs like Eutyrannus and like T-Rex. So, yeah. Anyway, but these are 2 distinct groups of dinosaurs. Yeah, so our critter here, Seots, this might be the descendant of the dinosaur that we're hoping to dig up in the Cedar Mountain Formation. We've got some tantalizing pieces of this critter, and we're hoping that that we can find some more of it. It's a big Carcharodontus, or whatever it is. It's not been named yet, and yeah. So this one right here is from the early Cenomanian, so that's late in the Cedar Mountain Formation. It's from the Mustn't Touch It member. Holy cow, it's way high up in section. So we're going to be digging up a dinosaur that's maybe like 40 million years older than this one. If we can find more of it, that's the thing. We got to go back to this quarry. We'll keep digging, and we'll see if we can find more of it. But the dinosaur that we're finding the most of is one similar to this, Iguana colossus. In fact, we might be digging up the ancestor of this critter. It's an iguanodontian from the early Cedar Mountain Formation. And it's so big, it's not even fitting on the screen. There we go. Big iguanodont, plant-eating dinosaur. So we've got a bone bed of these guys. Well, we think it's probably a bone bed, so we've been finding various bits and pieces all disarticulated. We found these last summer. We're going to go back this summer. We're going to keep digging there. Hopefully we'll find more of this guy, and hopefully we'll find more of this critter or its ancestor. And uh-oh, what is this? Hunter of the Ancients. Thank you for those 10 gift subs. And look at how excited this bird is here for that. Uh-oh. Oh no, shoot.
Hunter of the Ancients is overloading the system with 10 gift subs.
Thank you, Hunter of the Ancients. I appreciate that more than you know. Thank you for those 10 gift subs. That's incredible. Look, we're now at 61 out of 100. Thank you, Hunter. I appreciate that very much.
If you're feeling
Yeah.
cheated, try blaming the dinosaur.
Good stuff.
I can't wrap my head around whether what we now know as epigenetics means that Lamarck was kinda right.
Oh, Nader Fiend, I don't know. I think a lot of epigenetics is kind of overblown in a certain way, but I wouldn't say Lamarck was right. I would just say that evolution's a bit more complicated than Darwin realized. Which I'm sure he would readily admit to that. Holy cow. But yeah. Anyway, Nader Fiend, I could do a whole week's worth of streams on that subject. Epigenetics and how it affects heritability and all this other stuff. But yeah.
Something's coming out of here.
Uh-oh.
Look, there's a bird, dude. It knows what's good.
What is this? Ozia Bell, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to Paleontologizing. How are you doing? It is good to have you here. Holy cow, welcome raiders. Ozia, I hope you had a wonderful stream. How are you doing? And thank you for those new follows, everybody. I appreciate that. Runny Eggs, thank you for subscribing for the first time. I really appreciate that, Runny Eggs. Hasino99 Music, thank you for the follow. That is brilliant. Cyanimus, what's shaking? It's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Good stuff. Yeah. Excellent. And Asya?
Dinosaurs are put together correctly. The bones. You're smart. What do you think?
Do a research on that, Oliver.
Do you think dinosaurs
Again, same thing.
The bones.
Got two people with the same question here.
You're smart. What do you think?
Do a research on that, Oliver.
Poor John Oliver. Slam Dunk BR, thank you for the follow too. Welcome to Paleontologizing, everybody. Shoot, my name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. So you are clever folks. You probably know already that a paleontologist is a scientist who studies fossils. I work on dinosaur fossils in particular. And just a few days ago, I was out in Wyoming digging up some dinosaur fossils with a crew of colleagues and volunteers. And I'm going to be digging up some more dinosaurs in about a little under 2 weeks now, out in eastern Utah, near the town of Moab, if anybody knows where that is. We're going to be digging up some dinosaurs from the very beginning of the Cretaceous period, and I'm going to be streaming that live, so I hope you can tune in for that. I'm very excited. The whole point of Paleontologizing, this channel, is to show you guys how paleontology works, you know? Like, taking fossil science and showing you how we do it, you know? How do we do paleontology? Paleontologizing. So yeah, I dig up dinosaurs, I publish on them, I study them, and now I talk about dinosaurs 5 days a week here on Twitch, at least when I'm back home in my office. But it's summertime, and in summertime, paleontologists are usually out doing field work, and I've been lucky enough to be able to share that with you. So today, on today's stream, we're going to be talking about some of my field work in Wyoming, doing kind of a recap on that, and yeah, showing you some pictures and everything, and looking forward to fieldwork in Utah. So if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. This is supposed to be an AMA too. Azia Bell says, this is such a cool topic. Thank you for streaming your work. Thank you, Azia, for the raid. How did your stream go? I'm sorry if I missed that. Yeah. JSDF says, I like dinosaurs. You're in the right place, JSDF. Welcome, welcome to Paleontologizing. We were just talking about this dinosaur that we're hoping to dig more up of, or a close relative of this animal at least. This is Siach microrum. This is a Carcharodontosaur from the Cedar Mountain Formation of Utah. We found some bits and pieces of potentially the ancestor of this animal last summer. And we're going to try and find more of it in a couple weeks when we're out there in eastern Utah. So, exciting stuff. And if you are tuning in live, you might get to witness that live. So, so don't miss that. Yeah. Good stuff. And new, says Izzy. I mean, the one that we're digging up is going to be new, because we don't have a big Carcharodontosaur from the lower yellow cat member of the Cedar Mountain Formation.
The ponderous Trachodon, 32 feet long and 14 feet high, 1,500 feet.
Yeah.
And not a single cavity.
So the Cedar Mountain Formation represents the very beginning of the Cretaceous period in Utah. And there are a whole bunch of different dinosaurs known from it, like Gastonia, Iguanocolossus, Mirasaurus, and of course, everyone's favorite, Utah Raptor, is also from the Cedar Mountain Formation. So here is the yellow cat fauna. The Cedar Mountain Formation is long enough that we've actually got like a number of different faunas in it. Faunae, I guess. But here are just some of the dinosaurs from the lower part of the Cedar Mountain Formation. You'll see Utah Raptor there in that kind of dark burgundy just in front of the person. There's an Ornithomimosaur, a Therizinosaur, some sauropods. Yeah, pretty cool. A lot of cool dinosaurs from the Cedar Mountain. And I'm really excited to be out there digging again with a great crew. And and Claire Birth, thank you for reposting that from Brandington. I heard from Zeke O'Callahan of Raptor Chatter that Allosaurus and Megalosaurus are actually very close from his video on Asphaltovenator. What's your stance? I don't really work on theropod phylogenies, but I think they're actually pretty different from one another, aren't they? Don't Megalosaurs... Well, Megalosaurs, I guess... They might be basal tetanurans. But I've seen other phylogenies where they come out as, like, derived ceratosaurs. So I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Honestly, dinosaur phylogeny doesn't really interest me all that much. I don't care as much about what different dinosaurs are super closely related to one another as much as I care about what was their ecology, how are they living, how are they acquiring food, that sort of thing. The whole paleobiology aspect of it is so much more interesting to me than, like, what results, Clitisic software spat out on this particular day. And Vladdy C, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Thank you also to Azia Bell and Slam Dunk BR. Appreciate you. Yeah. So yeah. And it is squishy, Brandington, yes. Anyway. Yeah, phylogeny is one of those things that...
Try blaming the dinosaurs.
I know this isn't your expertise.
Thank you, Nader Fiend.
Hippos be viewed as kind of an intermediary between terrestrial
Oh.
mammals.
Nader Fiend, that is a good question. Hippos are amphibious mammals. They spend most of their time in the water, but they are perfectly capable on land. Like a hippo can outrun almost the fastest person on land. So yeah. You know what, Nader Fiend, you might be interested to know about another group of critters called Desmostylians. These are not dinosaurs, I hasten to emphasize. But desmostylians are these cool mammals. There we go. Yeah. From the age of mammals, long after the dinosaurs. And they're kind of hippo-like. Today, they are completely extinct. They are not around anymore. But, yeah. We get many groups of these kind of semi-aquatic mammals like this doing their thing. And these guys are weird. Look at that skeleton. Just bizarre. Look at those teeth. Yeah, these guys lived in North and South America, I think. They're particularly well known from the Pacific Northwest, like, you know, Seattle. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Oh, there's a lovely illustration by Ray Troll. I recognize this painting here. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, these are really weird, cool critters. So this is just a group of animals that, yeah, they lived and they died and they've got no living descendants. Desmostylia. They're the only known extinct order of marine mammals, which is interesting. Extinct order, I guess. We had other groups of mammals like aquatic sloths. Blastocnus? Is that how you say this? Yeah, Blastocnus. This was an ancient sloth that was aquatic. Now they're all extinct. But yeah, semi-aquatic ground sloths. So yeah, there are a lot of semi-aquatic groups of mammals, some of which are still around today, some of which are completely gone. But it's interesting stuff, you know? Yeah, the history of life is fascinating and full of all these really incredible animals. I don't know if hippos are evolving toward a marine ancestry. In fact, it is my official stance as a vertebrate paleontologist that we can't know at this point. Evolution is not a process in which creatures, like, evolve in a certain direction with an endpoint in mind. Evolution doesn't have some sort of goal there as its endpoint. Evolution is just creatures adapting to their current environment. The environment changes, and then they adapt to change to adapt, you know, to become better suited to that. There's an old idea called orthogenesis, which is super flawed. Orthogenesis. There we go. Yeah. Is an obsolete biological hypothesis that organisms have an innate tendency to evolve in a definite direction towards some goal, due to some internal mechanism or driving force. We now realize this is completely false. This is not how evolution works at all. Creatures, generation to generation, they're just evolving to become better suited to their current environment. That environment changes in a certain direction, and they evolve in that direction. It changes back, and they evolve back, you know? And so will hippos, you know, 20 million years down the line, will they evolve to be fully aquatic? There's no way of knowing. It's only if the cards are laid down just right that they will. You know, it all depends on what the conditions are that drive their evolution. So yeah. Anyway. But yeah. And yeah, Kodali says, thank you, Kodali, for reposting that from Astronomy Show. I saw an hour ago a story on the late Cretaceous new dinosaur, Eoni smithi, discovered in Utah's Cedar Mountain Formation. There we go, Kodali, yes. Kodali, at Astronomy Show. I was at a conference in Utah, watching a talk by the authors of that paper when they mentioned that, yeah, like, they were on the plane over from North Carolina to Utah, and that is when this critter was published. So they're like, yeah, we've got a new dinosaur now. That was Lindsay Zano and her crew. They had a whole spate of different talks at this conference. So we can talk about that a little bit if you'd like to. I've not looked at it yet. Yeah. But yeah, anyway. Let's see, scrolling. Dinosaur Dave says, evolution is a blind and clumsy process? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, and there we go, from SciTech Daily. Thank you, Astronomy Show. Let's pull that up, actually. Let's talk about this new dinosaur. We've got like 6 new dinosaurs since I left on this trip. Hey, Gita Aloha, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Gimplex says, if the Great Rift Valley opens an ocean in their current environment, I can see hippos becoming more aquatic as a result. There you go, Gimpleg, yeah. Yeah, that could happen. I like that idea. Fortuitous Bounce says, is Therizinosaurus known from only one bone? No, Therizinosaurus is known from multiple bones. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Here we go. New dinosaur species discovered in Utah. Lived in an era of epic ecological changes. Yes. Eoni smithi. So this... There we go. Is this an iguanodontian or is this a speedo? Oh, it really bugs me. Come on, SciTech Daily. Putting this in archaeology. This has nothing at all whatsoever to do with archaeology. Archaeology is human artifacts and human stuff. So that's... Oh, come on, SciTech Daily. You're supposed to be better than that. Yeah. What a lovely rendering. Yeah. Artist reconstruction of Eoni smithi. This newly discovered dinosaur provides significant insights into the considerable ecological shifts that occurred around 100 million years ago in North America. Its survival during a period of global warming parallels the present-day climate crisis. I mean, kind of. It's so easy to say that kind of thing nowadays. I mean, kudos to the authors for including that, because that means it'll actually get headlines. But, I don't know. The climate was always changing during the time of the dinosaurs, but not as quickly as it's changing today, and that's really scary. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let's continue. New insights on how dinosaurs weathered the mid-Cretaceous ecological change. I was actually talking with some colleagues about that this summer. Yeah, the mid-Cretaceous dinosaur extinction is one that doesn't get enough attention. And it was bad. It was really bad. A lot of groups died out. Spinosaurids, my beloved Spinosaurids, died out during that time. Good stuff. A new study reveals how a newly discovered dinosaur species named Eoni smithi provides crucial insights into significant ecological changes that transpired in North America around 100 million years ago. There. Whoop. Come on, microphone.
Real dinosaur?
Aunt Nem, thank you for the follow. Let's go to Earth 100 million years ago. There we go, that'll do it. And thank you, Based on Air, for the follow, too. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. So, this is what our planet Earth looked like about 100 million years ago. Here's Africa, South America. Europe was a series of islands at the time. There's Asia. India is down here. Making its way north. It's going to crash into Asia pretty soon. There's Australia and Antarctica. But here's North America, 100 million years ago. So at this time, between about 105 and 100 million years ago, the climate changed pretty rapidly. There was a period of intense global warming, and a lot of these seaways actually dried up at the time. Is that right? Or did they expand? I think they receded. Anyway, we lose a lot of like shallow freshwater environments and a lot of shallow seas at the time. It's a time of seaway regression. And so this is basically the time and the place that this critter was alive. Utah is right here. And yeah. Eoni smithi discovered in Utah's Cedar Mountain Formation. This is where I'm going to be digging in just a couple of weeks. Aunt Nem says this is very interesting. Thank you, Aunt Nem. I appreciate that. Yeah. Belonged to an early branch of ornithopod dinosaurs. This discovery, coupled with others from the same geological formation, shows that despite the era's ecological upheavals, several major dinosaur groups endured. Furthermore, the authors point out the discovery's significance in connecting the extinction of earlier ornithopods in North America to a notable global warming interval, which intriguingly mirrors our current climate crisis. And Miss Yvette says, global warming? I thought people created that. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is that Earth's climate changes over millions of years due to natural fluctuations. But what we're causing right now is very much human-caused. And the scary thing is, it's like a zillion times faster than these events, which were natural, you know? Think of it like, I don't know, you might have like a fire out on the prairie that's caused by a lightning strike or something like that. But then you might have like a human-caused fire that is so much worse and so much faster. Stuff like that, you know? These are natural things that occur in our environment over tens of millions of years. But what humans are causing right now is so much faster to the point where, like, other animals and plants and organisms just can't adapt. You know? We, as human beings, could very well go extinct if we don't do something about our current output of carbon and methane and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. It's bad. It's really bad, folks. Yeah. Normally, these things happen very slowly over what we call geologic time. Over millions or tens of millions of years. What we're causing right now is happening over just hundreds of years, or even tens of years. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, back to this. New species of dinosaur from Utah sheds light on major North American ecological changes around 100 million years ago, according to a study published on June 7th, 2023 in the open access journal PLOS ONE by Lindsay Zano. Yeah, Lindsay was there at the conference with me, of the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences and colleagues. Yeah. And so there we go. This is what I was talking about here.
If you're feeling a bit cheated, try dinosaurs.
And thank you, Aditya, for the 100 bits. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Good stuff. Yeah. So here is... And thank you, Miss Yvette, for the 200 bits. Thank you, thank you. Good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, from right here. So I guess this is when there was higher sea levels at the time. Anyway, it was like after this time that a lot of critters went extinct. But anyway, yeah, good stuff. And so this is the upper mustn't touch it member. There we go. It's right there, 99.84 million years ago. So yeah, holy cow, this is like 30 or maybe 35 million years after the dinosaurs that I'm going to be digging up in a few weeks. Also in the Cedar Mountain Formation. It's crazy. The Cedar Mountain Formation represents like 40 million years of time. We really ought to break it up into several different formations, because that's a tremendous amount of time. It's crazy. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. And that's interesting. What is this critter? Is it a basal iguanodontian? Is it a camptosaur? Is it a hypsilophodontian? What would we call this animal? Yeah. The new dinosaur, named Iani smithi, lived around 100 million years ago and is known from a single fossil specimen, including a well-preserved skull. Yes. Where's my soundboard? There we go. There we go. Yeah. We've got a well-preserved skull for this critter, which is really excellent. Exciting. And parts of the spine and limbs. The name derives from Ionis, a Roman deity who presided over transitions, referencing the changing world of the mid-Cretaceous. That's cool. Yeah. Iani is also a member of an early branch of ornithopod dinosaurs, a group of mostly bipedal herbivores that includes the famous examples like Iguanodon and Tenontosaurus. Iani is the first early diverging ornithopod known from the late Cretaceous of North America. So this critter is what we would refer to as a speedo. It's a term that I actually just learned at the conference, but apparently ornithopod researchers are starting to use this. Speedo is an acronym and it stands for small-bodied, SB, early diverging, ED, ornithischian, SBEDO, speedo, small-bodied, early diverging ornithischian.
Together correctly, the bones.
Ozzy Ralph, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Let's take a look at... Oh, we've got a beautiful... Yeah, there we go. A beautiful 3D reconstruction of these different bones. You can see the eye socket right there. This is the lower jaw, the dentary, bearing those teeth. There's the beak in the front. This is where the nostril would be. You seeing it, everybody? You seeing it? This is good stuff. Yeah. Again, there's the eye socket. There's the bottom of the skull. Here's the top. Temporal fenestra. This is really lovely. They've got a decent amount of this skull, and that makes me really happy. What a cool critter. Want to 3D print that thing now? It might be available. I mean, holy cow. This is good stuff. This is very good stuff. So this discovery, along with other recent reports from the same geologic formation, indicates that several major groups of dinosaurs survived into the early late Cretaceous despite the ecological changes of that time. But exactly what these survivors were doing and how long they lasted is still unclear. Since Eoni and its closest cousins are typically found in ancient coastal habitats along the shores of the now vanished Western Interior Seaway, the Western Interior Seaway is, of course, this right here. You know, you go forward in time, and it really opens up like that. Yeah, this is the WIS, the Western Interior Seaway, cutting through the middle of North America. Since the Eoni and its closest cousins are typically found in ancient coastal habitats along the shores of the now vanished Western Interior Seaway, the authors suggest that that more investigation into coastal deposits of similar age might yield further evidence to address these lingering questions. The authors add, early ornithopods were once a common part of North American ecosystems, but we did not know they survived into the late Cretaceous. The discovery of Eoni helps us link their extinction on the continent with a major interval of global warming, one of the striking similarities to our current climate crisis. And there we go. Here's another link right there, and we'll see if we can take a look at the original paper also. Yeah, this is the same article. But let's find the original paper and take a look at that. Let's get some things straight from the science horse's mouth, shall we? Oh, and there's that beautiful lower jaw. Look at those teeth. That is really lovely. Yeah. And Arga Gubbin says, how is that possible? Humans didn't exist back then? I mean, this global warming at the time, during the Cretaceous, was not human-caused, obviously. Maybe you just got here, Argo. Welcome. And AFX Cube, thank you for the follow. Welcome. But yeah, the Earth's climate always changes, but those changes are usually very, very slow. You know?
Try not to go extinct.
There you go, Arga. Thank you for the follow, too. Yeah. So Earth's climate is always changing, but it's usually very, very slow. Slow enough for creatures to be able to adapt and change to it. What we're doing right now to Earth's climate is incredibly fast. Like, scary, scary, scary fast. I think a lot of people in the general public don't realize how long Earth's history is. Like, there's been life on Earth for about 3 billion years. You know, the dinosaurs, except for birds, died out 66 million years ago. So mammals have been dominant on Earth for like 66 million years. It's a long time. And there have been a lot of climate fluctuations during those tens of millions of years. But what we're doing right now to Earth's climate is incredibly fast. So fast that, like, creatures can't adapt. Entire ecosystems can collapse. It's really scary. So it's a question of timing, if that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, and Lady Niobe says maybe the Earth is just evolving around us, trying to get rid of us humans. No, it's us humans who are trying to get rid of us humans. That's the problem. You know? It's like you're sitting in a bathtub and suddenly you start boiling the water. It's like we're doing this to ourselves, you know? Yeah. Or I shouldn't say we, because you and I are not really doing anything. It's, you know, honestly, it's multi-billion-dollar corporations and the people that run them that are doing this. Let's be honest about it, you know? Let's not mince words. Yeah. Track Nerd says the Earth will regulate itself, whether we live through it or not. Yeah, I mean, we essentially have a climate gun to our own heads here. And the Earth, the planet itself will go on, even if we cause a mass extinction, but we might cause our own extinction as human beings, you know? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And there you go, Dinosaur Dave, as usual, has got a good take on that. It's like an order of magnitude faster than, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, and Jeremy, that's an interesting thing, yeah. I mean, trees can be a renewable resource if you're careful about it. But yeah. Anyway. But yeah. And Cabbage Man, I'm sorry, but you're wrong about that, Cabbage Man. Like, if you talk to some actual climate scientists about this and look at the data, yeah, there's been a significant amount of sea level rise. Shoot, look at places like Kiribati. They're already starting to slip beneath the waves. There's been a good deal of, like, a scary amount of sea level rise in the past 50 years. Back home in San Francisco, where I live, like, they're already contemplating having to build seawalls and stuff like that because the downtown area is flooding more and more regularly, you know? And it's not politicians who are saying this, it's scientists. The politicians are the ones with their heads in the sand. You know, they get all this money from oil companies and from big business. They don't want to admit that, you know, big business and oil companies are warming the planet because that's where all their money is coming from, you know? Yeah. People like me have nothing to gain from saying this, you know? It just is what it is. As scientists, you know, we are deeply passionate about studying natural processes, about studying the natural world. This is why I stream here on Twitch, is to try and get this information out there, you know? I don't profit one dime from this kind of thing. But you know who does? It's oil companies and big business. They are reaping record profits. And they've known about global warming since the 1970s. Oh yeah. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah. Anywho. Let's get back to our, Oh yeah, shoot, even the U.S. military is prepared. Absolutely, Golganek. They consider that one of the biggest threats to global security, as they call it. Yeah. Anyway. So Lindsay Zano and her team used the well-preserved skeleton to analyze the evolutionary relationships of Eoni, and were surprised, even a bit skeptical of the results. We recovered Eoni as an early rhabdodontiomorph, a lineage of ornithopods known almost exclusively from Europe, Zeno said. Yeah. Recently, paleontologists proposed that another North American dinosaur, Tenontosaurus, which is as common as cattle in the early Cretaceous, in like the Cloverleaf Formation of Montana, for instance, and in other places like Oklahoma and stuff. Yeah. Belongs to this group, as well as some Australian critters. If Eoni holds up as a rhabdodontiomorph, it raises a lot of cool questions. That is really interesting. This would be a rhabdodontiomorph. So these critters actually show up in Prehistoric Planet, if anybody watched that. Yeah. Hey, Gertis Pucka, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Wasn't Rhabdodon, it was Zalmoxes is what it was. Yeah, so this is what you might call a speedo, a small-bodied Early diverging ornithischian. There we go. Little guys like this. Yeah. Hey, Onuris, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here.
Establish a new population, which eventually becomes a new species.
If they're lucky. I mean, don't put too much pressure on them.
Unlike anything seen before.
Zelmaxito. There you go, Brandington. They are pretty small. Yeah.
The longer an island has been isolated, the more...
Yeah. So here's Zelmoxes.
And equally inconspicuous.
So this is one of these guys, kind of like our new dinosaur, but this one's smaller, I think.
The last of a very ancient dinosaur lineage.
Yeah.
This forest is one of their few remaining strongholds.
Oh.
For many predators.
Uh-oh. Some of them do get eaten, but here we go.
Permanent residents regularly come down here.
There we go. Yeah.
Little dinosaur. Zelmoxes.
Zelmoxes. What a cool critter.
Too risky. He needs a larger raft, and quickly.
Uh-oh.
There's little choice but to swim for it.
Oh, go, 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 go! There he goes. Yeah. So anyway, this is what we call a speedo. I just learned that term at the conference, but I love it and I want to share it. Small-bodied early diverging ornithischian.
Another castaway. A female.
So we used to call these critters hypsilophodonts, which is funny because this is a group of dinosaurs that's not really a group. Like, hypsilophodonts. This is basically like a grab bag term for small-bodied early diverging ornithischians. So these critters are not actually all related to each other. Things like Hypsilophodon, Dryosaurus, Nanosaurus, Tenontosaurus, Zalmoxes, etc. There's a bunch of little guys there next to a big guy. That's what would that critter be next to the big Tenontosaurus? I forget, but anyway. Yeah. Speedos. So it turns out these are not all actually related to one another. They don't form a natural group. Yeah. So Speedo is kind of a generic grab bag term for this kind of group of sometimes unrelated dinosaurs. Does that make sense? Yeah. And, uh-oh, what's that? A raindrop? We are getting some wind here. I might have to pack things up pretty soon if we start getting rained on. Yeah. Oh, yep, there is definitely something there. Yep. Whoa, it's pulling the tape over. Hey, everybody. Pepper, can you do a read real quick? And we can wrap this up. Yeah, shoot. Everybody, you take care of yourselves, and Clipper, find somebody to rate 5 streams or something. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, wait a minute. Let's go raid California Burbs, yeah. Raid. Excellent. Thank you, Claire. Perfect. All right, everybody, you take care of yourselves. And, oh yeah, oh boy. Thunderstorm is incoming.